Hey guys, today's video is a review of Iron Man 3. Just, one of the best superhero films since we came up with the idea of superheroes. Warning, this review will contain spoilers, so go click away until you've watched the film. Abby, dated Rose on YouTube, and Magical Panda Hats on Tumblr, possibly if she hasn't changed it yet, was meant to be doing this review with me, but something came up with her sister and she wasn't able to, so we didn't manage to record before I got my bus, and so she wasn't able to be in the video. Iron Man 3 involves Tony Stark, the titular Iron Man, coming across an enemy called the Mandarin, a terrorist who uses many means to teach lessons to the West, while also dealing with a tech rival called Aldrich Killian, who has his own agenda. This film is almost everything I want from an Iron Man film. Tony having massive problems to deal with, and being stripped back to whatever resources he can buy at a DIY shop, and borrow from little kids that are helping him because he's Iron Man. The film also had one of the best action sequences ever, the fight with Killian at the end. Tony switching suits rapidly to counter whatever attacks Killian was making on him with his extremist enhanced strength, all the while Tony's other suits taking down the other extremist enhanced baddies. Pacing was masterful, even though during the middle I had to go to the bathroom and missed a tiny bit. There was this brilliant bit in the film where Tony and this kid Harley, who was helping him because he was Iron Man, sassed each other off while Harley was trying to get Tony to take him with him. It was just so cute and so funny because Tony's like, "Oh, you're cold?" "Yeah." And Tony's like, "Yeah, I could tell because we're connected." Because that was going off something that Harley had been saying before. I think his name was Harley. I really hope it was now, or this will be making me look very silly. There's a fantastic bit at the end of the end credit scene with Mark Ruffalo, because who doesn't love Mark Ruffalo? I love that Tony was trying to get the freaking Hulk to be a therapist to him. How did you do that? Now, I do have a couple of criticisms for the film. I feel that the way that they used the Mandarin was a bit odd, because as they seem to be implying that he was this massive thing way back in the other movies, and before the film, and then I was half expecting for the actor bloke that to actually be the Mandarin and just to be fake getting Tony off his guard. But it was interesting. I think that it was an interesting idea to make Killian the real Mandarin, even though it doesn't really have any basis in the comics. But I thought that was quite an interesting way of doing it. It's maybe not the way I would have done it, but I think that maybe I would have been too predictable if I came up with that idea. The only other criticism I really have for this film is that I like the conclusion in this extremist storyline in the comics. So the way that they did it was in the comics was Tony used an altered version of the extremist formula to make it so that he could remotely control his armor, which was something he had worked out in the first bit of the film. So it wasn't so bad. It was just a bit. I wasn't sure about some of it, but it was interesting. Overall, I would give this film 4.5 stars out of 5. It's fantastic, and I highly recommend it. See you tomorrow for my review of Perks of Being a Wallflower, the book by Stephen Chbosky, which I finished earlier. So, bye.
Be kind to unkind people. They need it the most. Ashley Brilliant.